255 pump for the S2000. The car is going to be NA now, but while I have all the rear interior out, it's going to be easier just to put this sucker in for a boost later on down the road. So there's it comes with a little wire connector there, the fuel pump, a new sock, hose, and 2 little clamps. Pretty simple, straightforward. Let's get to taking out the pump now. All right, so if you were replacing your soft top like I did earlier, that's probably the point where I should have done it, but I made the decision after the fact. So if you still can, take these panels off, kind of get it out of the way. Then you're going to see 3 Phillips head screws here. Remove those. All right, you should be able to feel it. You're going to stick your hand in there. There's going to be a little connector. Just kind of push this in, pull up, get that out of the way. And then looking at the 2 lines, they're also pretty simplistic, actually. I'm just going to, when you squeeze, you're going to feel there's a little like little plastic piece. Just kind of squeeze them in and pull. All right, so once the assembly's out, what you're going to need to do is kind of really hard to show you in there. It's going to be 8mm screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's going to be 8 8mm screws, and there's going to be 1 10mm. So once you got that out, well, if you're starting out by taking out the actual pump, there's still going to be some gasoline in here, kind of. So there's going to start with this little plastic clip down here. If you notice, there's going to be little like tabs here holding it on. You're going to kind of just gently pull it. Pull each one. And as you pull it, just kind of push it down. And the retainer clip is off. All right, so now disconnect this hose. We'll just kind of lower the, oh, it's already kind of starting to go. I was gonna say disconnect that, but it just kind of slid right off. You got a connector here and a connector there. All right, so just flatten that down with a pair of pliers or something, and then you should be able to push it. So once you flatten it down, you should be able just to kind of pull it through, and we'll pry it back up afterwards. But that will release the pump. I guess I really didn't need to disconnect that line there. Just kind of got it out of my way. I'll put this off to the side. Be careful not to, you know, bend this arm or anything like that. That's like your actual, it's telling you how much fuel you got in the gas tank and whatnot. All right, so OEM pump, Walbro pump. I came with a hose here already, so I'm going to put the new hose over it. We can kind of do a test fit by just sort of taking the housing and sticking it up in there and seeing. If you notice, it'll sit right about there. If we took the original one. You can see it sits about flush with the actual bottom of the housing here. So we're going to make this to the point where that sits flush. So we got to take off quite a bit, but less is more. So if we were to hold them side by side like that, you know, just aligning the bottoms a little bit. If we were to align them here at the bottom, it's kind of where the pump or the sock would fit. It's the bottom of them. You can kind of see where the hoses would line up. I'm going to go a little higher just to be, again, safe. That's where about they look like they line up. They cut right about there. Do another fit. Again, I'm not sticking it on the actual. We can see it's getting close. All right, I'm gonna take the sock out. And a saw in the bag. See another little baggie there. Comes with a new one of those little like star, little crush guys, little washer. So we're going to take the A off. Little guide hole goes over there. There you go. So once it's on there, that little metal ring there kind of gives it some retention too. This is kind of like a little secondary. Take the little metal, you might need to take like a screwdriver or a scribe. I mean, it's meant to be tight. So that's kind of pushed down on there now. We're good on that. I'm going to put the other one kind of up there just a little bit. Now here's the plug that came off of it. It absolutely, so you can get a good look at it. It looks different. The prongs to grab are about the same size. The Walbro plug is a little bit thinner than the S2000 plug. The actual connector where it actually locks, that's them lined up where they would lock. They're about the same length. It looks like it would just kind of fit in here, to be honest with you, and I was kind of messing with it. And it kind of does, which is sort of cool. No complaints there. So I don't really have to mess with any soldering or anything. So we're gonna slide. Let's position this clamp here. Shift, tighten down. Alright, so now this is the OEM plugs. Just kind of putting everything back. Slide that back through, and I'm just gonna with this scribe again, this metal tab that we bent up, or we pushed down I should say, I'm gonna just there, so now it shouldn't be able to go anywhere. Alright, so everything's kind of back on now. Grab this little black piece you took off before there. It fits on there again. I'm gonna grab the little holder clamp guy. And there it is, snaps right back on. And our assembly should be good to go to be put back in the car. Alright, first and foremost, the Walbro pump, yes, it is louder than the OEM pump. It's not like screaming, but when you go to prime the car, yes, it's like you hear a very good audible where car's driving. No, I don't hear anything. Between music playing or the top down, I don't hear the pump. Not a big concern. I did not upgrade the wiring on it, as you saw, in case someone's gonna say, why don't you put, you know, a bigger wire with a relay, blah, 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 blah. I will probably eventually do that. It's surprisingly not that difficult to get to. And I mainly did it because the car at that time maybe had like just shy of 14,000 miles, if not 14,000 miles, or 114,000 miles, excuse me. And I'm just trying to do a lot of preventative maintenance. So, you know, changing the struts, well, might as well just lower it. So I put suspension on it, changed the diff, tranny, engine oil, fuel pump now, just kind of doing my own maintenance just to kind of, I have my own maintenance log to this point. So just threw that in there. It will eventually get that wire upgrade probably whenever I go boost, whenever that time may be. Overall, I've got almost 2,000 miles now on the pump and it's performing fine. There was some reviews that I read with the Walbro sock itself kind of interfering with the fuel level sender. It doesn't appear to interfere with it even when I had it on the bench. And then I've ran the tank down to a colder tank and it's came back up. So I'm not having that issue, knock on wood. I mean, I should be fine. It has been fine. So pump upgrade for me so far has worked out. And yeah, that's that. Hopefully this video just kind of shows you quick. There's really not much to show. The install or the reinstall is the same as the removal. It's pretty straightforward.
all that being said, I want to just thank everybody for watching, and I've just been super busy, which is why this video is actually, it's quite old now, which is great. I got to do some driving on the pump. But that being said, I am moving to New Mexico sometime soon. So if you're in New Mexico, leave, you know, I don't know, just in the comments. I'm excited to see if there's anybody that does watches in New Mexico. I've had a lot going on with the CRX. I've got a lot of video with it and the S2000. I've also got some events that I recorded that were just total fails that I have just not put up, like the drag strip last time. We got 2 runs, someone destroyed themselves on the track, unfortunately for them, but it also hindered us from running. It just led to some other things, blah, 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 whatever. So I've been kind of bad at putting out videos, so I apologize. And you may get a couple of videos, you may get a little more frequent of a video real quick in the next couple of weeks, just because I've already had them recorded. I just need to get off my butt and actually put them out. And they may not seem like they're in sequential order. So if you see like my fog lights aren't on the S2000 mover, it's because I actually didn't put them on yet when that video was recorded. So just ignore that. Preferably just don't message me like, oh, why'd you remove the fog lights? Did they not work? Fog lights work great. Could you probably use some brighter bulbs in them, but that's that. All right, so again, I do appreciate everybody. I know I don't like jump for joy, and my wife would tell you I'm just not like a very, woohoo. It's hard to get a lot of emotion out of me. If I have emotion like that I'm showing blatantly like that, it's, I don't know. But nonetheless, I do appreciate everybody that watches. This is just crazy. I think I'm at, or I'm about to be, or close to, whatever, 1,500 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot maybe to some people, but it's just crazy to me. Something I never really envisioned. I just kind of said, you know what? I've had my inspiration from other people that I've watched, and let me just rebuild this car from when I was, I don't know, 2007, whenever I was, you know, when I had a kid. I've had these in my whole life, but let me just get to going on the CRX and watch online. That was my more inspiration to keep just going at it and continue. And that's awesome that I can do that for other people. That's really honestly all I wanted out of it, and I've gotten that. I mean, I want to enjoy the car too, but that was this is the added plus and bonus. So again, I know I've just said it 4 times. I do appreciate everybody, and stay tuned for the next video.